If I could tell myself one thing before seeing a therapist, I mean, everything that I'm saying in this video is what I would want to hear. So today I want to talk to you guys about what it's like to talk to a therapist for the first time. And this is coming from a patient, a client. I am obviously not a mental health professional, and there will be resources down below for you guys if you are looking to get a therapist. But I kind of feel like this isn't talked enough about from the client perspective. Going in, meeting with someone, obviously since COVID, things have been a little different. I've been having phone sessions with my therapist. I understand the hesitation if you're someone who has never been to therapy, if you're someone who is just not interested and skeptical about it, or even the thought of it makes you a little angry, all that stuff. Believe me, I understand because I've been there. But honestly, going to a therapist for the first time is like doing anything else for the first time. You're going to be a little hesitant. You might be a little nervous, a little anxious, but it's honestly not that different from doing anything else you haven't done before. Obviously, the main difference is when you go talk to someone or just talk on the phone. The therapist I see now, I talked with her on the phone first, and this was way before COVID happened, just to have a check-in, like just to see if we connected, which sometimes you might go see a therapist and you might feel like for whatever reason, you just can't, you don't think you could open up to that person. And that's totally fine. Like, everyone's different. If you have certain preferences, if you want to see someone older, if you want to see a male, if you want to see a female, there are various different people you can talk to. Even it can come down to a preference of if you like someone who jots things in their notebook or not. Anything, honestly. When I talked to my therapist on the phone for the first time, it was just kind of an introduction. It's just meeting someone for the first time, telling them a little bit about yourself. It's all focused on you. So not only are you going to tell them a little bit about yourself, you're also going to tell them why you need to talk to someone, why you are seeking therapy. And that part can be scary. It can be hard to bring up the things that are hard to talk about. But if you're seeing a good therapist, they will help you and guide you through that process. They will not force you. They will not push you to talk about things if you're not ready to yet. There have been therapy sessions I've been in where we talked about not a whole lot of deep stuff. And it's kind of great to have some of those sessions because sometimes it's like, I don't really have much to talk about. And then we'll start talking about something totally different. But that's other therapy sessions ahead of the first one. The first time meeting a therapist, it's just that. It's just saying a little bit about yourself and why you want to speak with them. I think it's also very stigmatized even now. If you bring up a therapist, people like that you talk to someone, or if you talk about mental health at all, it's kind of like, whoa, you're crazy. I still see that happen quite a bit, like, red flag. And the more we talk about these things, the less it'll be that way. So the more open and honest we are about these kind of conversations, these topics, that stigma is going to eventually go away. I mean, it's a very slow process. Any big change is going to be a slow process. But I've talked to someone who has been considering therapy, and they might be open to the idea, but it's just they need that push to do it, to make an appointment, which also can be hard. It's difficult to talk about the hard things. It really is. If you're dealing with trauma, if you're dealing with maybe a substance abuse issue, if you are dealing with anger and you don't know why, if you're depressed, talking to a mental health professional will help you so much. You will be very, very glad that you decided to go. Like, it's not going to be something you regret. Even if you see a therapist that you don't gel with at first, just go find another one, honestly, because there are many out there. There are some great therapists out there who can really help you in your situation. But if you are hesitant about making that phone call or going to that appointment that you maybe already booked, I would say go for it. And it does take a little courage. It does take bravery to go and do this because it is work. It is hard work. But just doing that first initial step of meeting them and realizing if you're comfortable talking to that person or not, you could you could go see a different therapist if you wanted to, and you can just bounce around until you find someone you feel comfortable with. I've done that. I've seen a therapist for the first time and I was like, this person doesn't really get what I'm telling them. Or I just thought, this doesn't feel right. I need to see someone else. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. So you really just need to listen to your gut and do what's best for you. But please just take that first step because you will be so glad you did. I absolutely love that I have my therapist that I have. It's taken a while to find her. And I was definitely glad that I had her, especially through COVID and the chaos of that. Whew, that was difficult, very difficult. And that wasn't even something I was seeing my therapist about. You know what I mean? Life just happens and then like the whole world shut down. I'm like, man, I'm glad I have someone I talk to. And I wish everybody could see a therapist. I wish people were more open to the idea of therapy, which again, since it's so stigmatized still, I mean, it just sucks. Like people are less likely to go because of all the negativity that kind of surrounds mental health. But the first time you meet with a therapist, it should be easy. It should feel like, oh, there you are. Like there's this person I can finally kind of talk to about whatever it is you want to talk to them about. It could be anything. And they don't tell anyone else anything, which is so great. You talk about you the whole time. You pay them to listen to you. They help you figure out your problems. Like, it's great. Everyone should have a therapist if they can. If I could tell myself one thing before seeing a therapist, I mean, everything that I'm saying in this video is what I would want to hear because I think sometimes people just need that reassurance. This is new, this is different, but you're gonna be okay. Like, the worst that's gonna happen is maybe it's a negative experience, but please don't let one negative experience stop you from getting the help that you need and going forward. And the benefits outweigh any possible negatives by so much. So I say, give yourself a shot, give yourself your best chance, go. Do it. Like, I'm rooting for you. You got this. Sessions and sessions beyond this, you're going to be so happy that you actually went and you got the help that you deserve. I hope you guys are doing well, and thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, bye.